1956, another rookie captured the attention of the entire baseball world. Frank Robinson of the Cincinnati Reds.
He was being heckled, particularly in Columbia, South Carolina, the year before he came up.
This particular night that I'll never forget, they gave him the worst verbal abuse. I never heard anything, not even to this day, as bad as that. I looked at Robinson, I was close to him, and I could see the tears streaming down his cheeks. And as soon as the game was over, Robinson bolted from first base to the bat rack and grabbed a bat. And he was out of control. He was completely irrational, and I could understand. He wanted to kill those two guys.
And he had to be restrained, or that would have been a very, very bad thing to have happened. He might have faced some time in prison down there as a consequence if he had managed to get into the stands.
Robinson kept his emotions in check by focusing his energies on the game, and in 1956 made it all the way to Cincinnati, where he hoped the social climate would improve.
Well, he came from Oakland, California, which was racially diverse, to a city that, for all its pretensions perhaps, is still a southern city. It was a city that was very unfriendly to racial diversity. And what he wants to do is keep a low profile as best he can. He had to keep quiet because in a city like this, at that time, if he'd been very vocal, he would have been gone.
I think it made me tougher.
Mr. Danger, he was the type of guy that the anecdote, don't wake up a sleeping dog. If you wake him up, you're only going to get bit.
When I was with him, well, the first time up, Stan Williams knocked him down, and Austin went berserk in the dugout. He got up, dusted himself off, hit the next pitch almost out of the Coliseum. For the next two games, he was on a hitting rampage.
Drysdale's pitching. The go-ahead run is on second base. Robinson comes up, and Austin puts up four fingers because first base is open.
The first pitch right here, I mean, had some mustard on it too. Frank went down like a ton of bricks. Boom! He went down, didn't have helmets in those days. The cap stayed in the air and the body just went down. Wham! You know, ball one.
By gosh, he'd get up and he'd get closer, almost illegally closer to the plate, as if to say, you're not going to intimidate me.
By this time, you think that Frank would say, no, I'm not going to get back in the box. But not only that, he got closer, bent over the plate, and spat at Drysdale.
Boom, down he'd go again. Climb back up, inch a little bit closer, and I was amazed.
You would think that Drysdale would go ahead and put the forward. A little bit more on it and a little bit lower. And Frank again got under it, went down like a ton of bricks. Dust, dirt all over him. And he trotted to first base.
He was one of the few guys that weren't intimidated by Bob Gibson.
2 years after setting a rookie record by being hit by a pitch 20 times, Robinson's close to the plate stance cost him dearly in an exhibition game in 1958. A beaning left him with blurred vision.
He went down just like he was hit by a bullet.
I think I did have fear because I'm right. What Frank said to Frank is, do you want to stay in the major leagues? And Frank said yes. Frank said to Frank, well, then if you're going to do that, then you got to get your act together and start going into the ball again instead of rocking back on your heels on everything.
Well, he finished up with 31 home runs and a .269 batting average. That's what a competitor he was.
National League Rookie of the Year, Frank Robinson, accounted for 38 four-baggers in 1956 to tie a Major League record for first-year men. The 21-year-old slugging sensation is not worried about the sophomore jinx, and Tebbets believes Robinson will develop into one of the game's greatest hitters.
From Bird Chatter, I'm Mike Allen. So long, folks.